In this video, we're going to still talk about the active and passive rigid bodies, but we are going to then collide active rigid bodies together so you can see what happens. So let's add a plane here, and I'm going to create a sphere. Move the sphere like so. And then I'm going to create a block here. Just make it long. And I don't want it touching the ground, because if it touches the ground, it's going to go right through. So I just want it hovering right above it, just enough so that when gravity allows it to fall, it will fall to the ground. And I'm just going to duplicate this. Just kind of put them right next to each other. Okay. And then one last one. So we'll do that many right there. That's good. Okay. So we have our sphere here. In the sphere, we're going to add do an active rigid body for the sphere, and an active rigid bodies for these cubes here, and then put a passive rigid body onto this floor. So let's go to the fields and solvers and do a passive rigid body on the floor, and then we'll just select all of these and do active rigid bodies for all of those, because they're going to collide with each other. So right now there's no gravity on these, so let's have them selected again, fields and solvers, and then gravity. We have gravity now applied to these. So if we push play, you can see that it falls, they stand still, and everything is good. Now we need to add a velocity to this. So let's go back to one frame. And you can see here, if we look at the arrows, I want to go this direction toward the blocks. So I need to have a negative x-axis to make it go this way. So I'm going to go to the x-axis here, the velocity. I'm doing negative, let's say 30. Push play. Let's see what happens. And you can see it hits the cubes and they fall over. And you can probably see that right now there's not a lot of mass on the sphere, because they're all the same mass, and that's why when they hits, it doesn't really go through. You can see it just bounces off of each other. So let's add a little bit more mass to the sphere here, and we'll go down to mass, click on mass, and let's change this to 10. Let's see what happens. Push play. You can see now that it has more mass, which means it's heavier, and it goes right towards those blocks and hits them. Let's turn it down. Let's put it on 3 instead. Push play, see what happens. You can see that not as much heaviness there, so it kind of hits the blocks, and then it slows down tremendously. And the blocks kind of fly everywhere as well. So this is what you can do with with your active and passive rigid bodies, and allow them to kind of interact with each other based on real world ideas.